Ready? Burn.
Well, you know, I've been pretty fortunate. I've got to coach both sons. Both sons were all state. My youngest son, who graduated this year, will be playing at Indiana State, and you know, came into a tough situation. He wanted to play at Warren Central. He moved as a sophomore, and you know, he catches that nepotism criticism and stuff. But again, you know, winning a 5A state championship, and he had a fantastic ball game, was incredible. And then my oldest son was all state at Wright. So I've been very fortunate that those two kids made it easier because they were really good players, but they were typically coaches' kids. You know, they found ways to win, and they studied the game really hard.
Now tell me, Coach, what do you think was the most difficult thing about coaching your son?
Well, the criticism. No matter what they did, you know, there was always somebody that would accuse them of it being someone else, us giving credit to them or whatever else. And I think people that were close to the program, whether they've been here or Wrights, knew that I was probably tougher on those guys than any other kids that I had coached. So so it wasn't real fair criticism all the time, but yet at the same time, it was always there, and I always had to be careful what I said. You know, if I said the same thing about anybody else's kid, those things were taken for face value. If I said something about you know, any of my two sons, it was always about trying to promote them. And obviously, if you're the head coach, you're really not promoting them to too many people. But it is what it is. So that part of it can be pretty difficult. I think it made my two kids better, because they knew they had to fight and overcome a lot more than a lot of people.
Now, was there anything, how did you address the whole situation of separating coach and dad?
You know, when we were on the football field, there were not very many dad moments, to be honest. I'm really a facilitator with a program this big. You have to be. You know, I've talked to some major head football coaches. We have about 100 Division I coaches come through here a year. And as we talked about how our jobs are really similar. I mean, my job is to organize our staff and prepare game plans on weekends. Come coaching out on the football field and stuff, I lose part of the thing that I love most about coaching. I don't get to do that much. So really, that got facilitated to so many other people that that part was pretty easy on the field.
All right, last question, Coach. Tell me, what do you see now that your son will be gone next year? What's it like, would you say, coaching after your son leaves? Do you lose something there? Is it at what point, you know, tell me about some of those things that you foresee for next year in ways that would be different for you.
Well, you know, I lose both of them, and really for the last 9 years, one of my sons at least has been in my program, and usually two of them. So I lose both of them. The coordinator becomes an assistant at Kentucky Wesleyan, and obviously the quarterback becomes. So, you know, I'm going to miss that a lot because, you know, even though I didn't get to coach him a whole bunch, I got to see him every day. That was my interaction with him every day. And, you know, coaching is a brutal field a lot of times. It's a lot like the military. You spend way too much time away from home. So every once in a while you get to bring home with you. And when you get to do that, it made it pretty special. Those times were things, and you got to see your son when he made you proud. You know, Nick played through some pretty tough injuries. We ran an option back then, and he got hit a lot. But you know, Derek, as he caught all the criticism and everything, and our star running back got hurt in the state championship game, and he drives down the field, and we throw the ball all the way down the field, and we score a touchdown with no time left, get the 2-point conversion on a pass again, and then he wins the game with the quarterback sneak. That was all terrific, but the proudest part of what I did, or what we did as a family, is we struggled after the Carmel football game, and we did a Tim Tebow. We made a promise, and I started it with myself. I promised our kids that we would never be out prepared, we'd never be outworked, and I'd never allow outside forces to affect how hard and how prepared we would be as a team. Well, I had a coach every Monday and players every Tuesday and Wednesday they had to make the promise. Well, the very last promise was made by Derek, and it was the very last practice before the state championship. And he just said, he goes, there's going to be some point in this ball game where you guys are going to need me, and it's going to be, you know, I'm going to have the opportunity to make a play or help somebody else make a play to win the state championship. I just let you know right now, I promise I'll make that play. Well, it was, you know, the receiver makes a miraculous catch. So it would, again, he helped provide the play, whether he made the play or not. But we scored the touchdown and the 2-point conversion. And again, somebody has to catch and block, and the whole piece, it was a team thing. But he gets hurt in the celebration. So of all things, my son is healthy for both years starting varsity quarterback in the mid-conference. He gets hurt, and as I come out on the celebration after we win the ball game. He's down, and he had a third-degree sprain, and I'm out there with him on the field, and 2 younger kids came by and he said, "Derek, you did it. You fulfilled your promise." Well, you know, I turned around and it made me smile that, you know, that kids and a promise still meant something, not just with him, with those 2 kids, with our football team. And the newspaper got it, and the headlines was, "Son makes dad proud," or something like that. Well, they thought I was smiling because he had accomplished what he did. I was a lot more happy that promises still mean stuff to high school football kids, that teamwork and team play means a lot more than individual accomplishments.
Well, Coach, thanks for your time, and thanks for sharing some of that personal information.
You're welcome.